So classification of animal kingdom. So we have a lot of classification where we have discussed about there are total 11 different phyla. So this is the first class that we have seen the base of classification. The first one is called as habitat. So what do you mean by habitat? Habitat is a place where an animal lives. We are going to call it as habitat. If they are living in the aquatic environment, it is called as aquatic habitat, where we have freshwater, brackish and marine. How it is classified based on salinity. Next we have terrestrial ecosystem, where we have fossorial, arboreal, scansorial, cursorial and aerial. What do you mean by fossorial animals? These are the group of animals which lives in burrows. We are going to call them as fossorial. Arboreal is a group of animals which lives on the trees. What do you mean by scansorial animal? Scansorial animal means what? These are the animals which lives on the walls and the rocks. And cursorial are nothing but a group of animals which are fast runners. And aerial is an animal where mostly they spend the time on the air. They are called as aerial. Next is the levels of organization, where we have cellular level of organization, tissue level of organization, organ level of organization and organ system of level of organization. Though all of them are multicellular, even cellular organization is also exhibited by multicellular organism, where all the cells are grouped together but every cell will perform the individual function. They are called as cellular organization. Next we have tissue level of organization. Group of cells, they join together and they form a unique structure called as tissues, where tissue will take up the role of the entire activity, where coordination activity is there. We call as tissue level of organization. Group of tissue are together to form an organ. We are going to call them as organ level of organization exhibited in platyhelminthes and above. Organ system level of organization, where all the organs are coordinated. Your endocrine organ, or you can say the hormone functioning organ, is coordinating all the functions of your body. Your circulatory system is also governing all the function of your body. Your running, your muscular system gets activated. Your cardiac activity increases. Your respiration rate increases. All these are governed in organ system level of organization. This is something unique. I'll be using the term cell aggregate plan, which is exhibited in poriference. Cellular level of organization is the first body plan. All the cells are joined together and every cell will perform unique function. In case of cellular level of organization, if we take in porifera, the outer core is called as ostia, which will collect the water from the surrounding water bodies. Then we have a small cavity called osteocele cavity, which goes out by means of osculum. They don't have mouth and anus, just an inlet and outlet for water molecules to pass through. Blind sac plan, this we can see in poriferans. I'm so sorry, friends, cylindrics, where they have a common opening for mouth as well as for the anus. We call as blind sac plan. There is no differentiation between mouth as well as anus. Organism having cell aggregate plan and blind sac plan, together they come under an alimentary canal pattern called incomplete alimentary canal. Mouth and anus is not differentiated. Next we have a tube within a tube plan, where this is categorized as a complete alimentary canal, where we have protostomus. In protostomus, mouth and anus are present. In the embryonic development, that is in blastophore stage, mouth is developed first. In deuterostomes, they also exhibit complete alimentary canal plan, where anus is formed first. Next we have the symmetry, the capacity to divide into two identical halves, the left and the right halves. If I am not able to differentiate or any plane crossing the body is not able to differentiate into identical left and identical right halves, we are going to call them as asymmetrical organization. Here in this we can compare with cylindric also. Any plane crossing the body can divide into two equal halves. Any plane crossing the oral laboral axis, mouth and anus axis, can divide into two equal halves, means then it is called as radially symmetry. Even we have pentaradial symmetry that we will be discussing in echinodermata. I mean using pentaradial symmetry, something penta 5 radial symmetry, something is there with respect to the arms of echinodermata. Next we have bilateral symmetry, a single plane crossing the body from mouth to anus, oral aboral axis able to divide into two equal halves means we are going to call them as bilateral symmetry. I want to say here the front part is called as ventral, the back part is called as dorsal, the topmost part is called as anterior, bottom part is called as posterior. If I am saying that platyhelminthes is dorso-ventrally flattened means ribbon shaped structure. Anterior, posterior, mouth is anterior, this is located top end. Next is germinal layers. There are three types of germinal layers that we are going to take into consideration: ectoderm, endoderm and the mesoderm, the middle layer. Now these are the embryonic germinal layers. We also have a stage called blastula, then we go for gastrula. In respect to the gastrula layer I am talking about. If they have only two embryonic layers, what are they? Outer layer called as the ectoderm and the inner layer called the endoderm means it is called diploblastic organization. Just two embryonic germinal layers are there. If they have three embryonic layers, ectoderm, endoderm, and the middle layer called mesoderm is also present means I am going to classify them into triploblastic. I mean they have three embryonic layers. Next, coming to the body cavity, if I take a skeleton, if I take a tissue or take a fish and cut it into two equal halves, a small cavity can be seen. From there only the people will be checking all the organs and all while going for fish marketing. The body cavity is a free space. If in this triploblastic organization you can see only three layers are there is no embryonic cavity means they are no body cavity means they are called as acoelomate organization. There is no body cavity. Next is called pseudocoelomate. What do you mean by pseudocoelomate? In these group of organisms we have the outer layer called as the ectoderm that is present. Then we have the outer layer called as the ectoderm. We have the inner layer called as the endoderm also. Then we have the middle layer that is called as mesoderm also. We have all three layers. Since all the three layers are there, they are triploblastic only. All the three layers are there, they are triploblastic. But in the mesoderm, the body cavity is there in the form of scattered pouches. The body cavity is there, the same diagram only. I am just having a differentiation. So in this, they are there in the form of scattered pouches. The body cavity is there in the mesoderm in the form of scattered pouches. This scattered pouches are there mean they are called as pseudocoelomate. They are called as pseudocoelomate. They are called as pseudocoelomate. Here also they have an outer layer. The outer layer is called as the ectoderm. We have a middle layer called as mesoderm. Then we have the innermost layer that is called as the endoderm. So in this we have a complete and a true body cavity. We have a complete and a true body cavity is present. We have a complete and a true body cavity. This true cavity there means they are called as eucoelomate or true coelomate. They are called as eucoelomate. These are the various categorization where pseudocoelomate and eucoelomate, both of them are exhibited in a triploblastic organization. Now this is the second part of video that I am going to present in the basis of classification, where we have the first one is circulatory system. The central pumping organ called as heart is there. They have, based on this, we are categorizing the organism into open circulatory and closed circulatory. What do we mean by closed circulatory means there is no physical contact between your blood vessels as well as your body tissues. Between your blood vessel and body tissues, we have a membrane called diffusion membrane made up of squamous epithelium, through which by the process called partial pressure of individual gases PO2 and PCO2, the gases diffuse between them. So there is no intimate breakage or leakage anywhere. From lungs it goes to heart, heart to the tissues, again tissues to the heart, and heart to the lungs. It will be keep on circulated without any physical contact between your blood vessels and your body tissues. But in open circuit system, the cells are directly bathed into the bloodstream through a network called sinuses. Next is zygote or embryo development. If the embryo development taking place outside the female body in a protected calcareous shell, it is called as oviparous. They can have internal or external fertilization also. Viviparous means the zygote is developing inside the female body and they are protected by the female body itself, except when cases there respect to the fishes. I will tell you about zebrafish and about that concept afterwards. Where placenta is there to nourish, nourishment is provided, they are not much prone to predators, and of course well parental care is there in viviparous because embryo development is taking place inside the female body. If the fertilization is nothing but union of male and female gamete, if the union of male and female gamete taking place outside the female body in provided water environment, in frogs it is external fertilization. It is called external fertilization. If the fertilization taking place inside the female body, it is called as internal fertilization. Oviparous animals are mostly internal fertilization only. Rare cases there in external. Development. Development is from zygote to the fetal development. If the development is not including the larval stages, they are called as direct development. You can see in cockroach, adult will lay the eggs after fertilization. Eggs will develop into a nymph, tiny miniature organism. It grows and increases in size, becomes adult. But in butterfly and all, you have egg, larvae, pupae and adult. In mosquito, egg, larvae, pupae and adult. So there are some larval stages are present, mean it is called as indirect development. Based on the excretory products, there are three excretory products that we have taken: ammonia, uric acid and urea. Among them, ammonia requires a lot of water for detoxification. Therefore, the organism excreting ammonia as an excretory waste, we are going to call ammonotelic organism. Most of the aquatic organisms are ammonotelic. Fishes are also ammonotelic. Uricotelic is the excreting the excretory product in the form of uric acid. Birds, it is uric acid. It is called uricotelic. Human being, if the excretory matter is urea, it is called ureotelic. Among this, uricotelic is the best water conservation method occurs in birds. Based on cranium box, brain box. If the cranium or brain box is present, craniata. Human beings are craniata. The brain box is not there, it is called acraniata. Notochord, nerve cord, pharyngeal gill slits, about that I will be teaching you in when I am introducing you chordata. That time also when I am discussing about vertebrata, I will tell you about cranium. If notochord is present in the embryonic stage, they are called as chordata, and it is replaced by vertebral column in case of vertebrata. If notochord is absent, it is called as non-chordata. These are some of the basics of classification. So based on the previous classification 1 and classification 2, taking all this category only, we are going to discuss about 11 different phyla in the animal kingdom.